All right. I think we're live. Share screen window. All right. This one's going to be rather short, but I don't know. Okay. So I had a lot of metadata over here, and long story short, I made some updates. I'm using 3DES encryption. It's a very old type of encryption. AES is much more recent, but even that's still pretty outdated. However, to be fair, banks still use this form of encryption. So let me show you what I did. I changed the encrypt and decrypt algorithm just ever so slightly. So instead of using this data as encrypted box, I'm actually using these four checkboxes. So let's make those visible. So data is encrypted. This box right here, this is no longer used. So as you can see, I have checkboxes right there. So now let's say I decide to go in and add a security question. This is a security answer or question response. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Now I say encrypt. It will still allow me to encrypt, what I put right here. It'll still allow me to encrypt. So this way I'm not accidentally doing dumb stuff. All right. Now you have to decrypt, obviously, in order to be able to change this stuff. And I added a validation criteria so that way when the data is encrypted, and this is old, I don't even use 599 CD anymore. But when I try to make changes, it gives me an error. It says data is encrypted, while data is encrypted equals true. So, I have to click escape there. In fact, let's just update that criteria. So right here, that security answer is encrypted is equal to true. Data validation rule. Okay, where's the validation rule? So while this checkbox is false, I can't change text. That's all it's saying. Cannot change text. Well, that's true. So I added this validation rule and that validation text. All right. Let's get rid of that. And this data is encrypted. All right. Let's get rid of see how I have username is encrypted, password is encrypted, email is encrypted, security question and answers is encrypted. Wow. So anywhere it says is encrypted is basically taking the place of data is encrypted. Whoops. Company. Yep. I made it so, it says cannot encrypt, cannot decrypt. When there's no data in there, you can't do anything. When there is data, obviously, it can decrypt it, or it can encrypt it. Let's change this from a locked cell to a non-locked cell. All right, so if I encrypt this, I just want to do one more spot check here. Let's say for some reason, I don't know why, but mystically you delete something from the table and like you're not supposed to. Let's see if this this removes the checkbox. God, I love it when I win. Let's just cannot encrypt. Ah, beautiful. See that right there? Cannot encrypt. Oh goodness. Now let's do a bulk encryption. Make sure that does not look like it took care of that. Arrgh. Company. This is a security question. So this is true. Let's just assume. Is no. That's how we're going to handle that. Okay. And then we are going to update this to false. Oh, SQL. CR FLB. Check for blank data that is still in. Check for blank data that is still encrypted for some reason. All right, do cmd.run SQL, and I will show you the SQL statement here shortly. I don't want that right now. You know, I'm still going to save it. Weird things happen for some reason. Go sub. Okay. All right. In fact, That's a little bit easier to read. Um, Encrypt that. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There we go. So, encrypt. What? How about decrypt? Debug. Okay. So now we're going to hit. All right. Encrypt. Make a long story short, I am attempting to knock out blank text through the bulk encryption. Criteria. Update. No. Hell. Okay, where's. Okay. This should be more correct, but we will see. Oh, whoops. I made an issue. I accidentally forgot my apostrophes in my code. All right. Again, I forgot my apostrophes. always the most annoying part is the apostrophes. Okay. Yes, now it took care of it. This is obviously a corner case. Oh, okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up encryption and decryption. All right. So let's just kind of showcase what happened here. I use this for updating the blank stuff at the very end, but let's go back. This is what I used. Yeah, and that's just inconsequential. That's all hashed out. Ran through a I got the where statement, depending on if it was an encrypt or decrypt. Created the SQL using that where statement. Counted how many records were supposed to be in the SQL I was about to process. If there were no records, I just left the whole routine. Otherwise, I continued to process information. So I updated the database, moved to the last record, moved to the first record, counted the records, and then went through a loop. And I edited the records within that loop. Now, obviously, data is encrypted no longer exists, so I'm going to hash that out. But if it's encrypted data, it's like there's values that take precedence over others. There's the encrypt, and then there's the decrypt. And then basically I say check the username field, check the encrypt field, and then run this subroutine. And I do this for email password security. That subroutine is down here, right here. Basically, I check the encryption field, make sure it's set to a certain value, check the field, make sure it's not blank. Then, I update, I use this algorithm, this encryption algorithm, this triple DES or 3DES encryption algorithm to, encrypt or decrypt the data in the field. Then I spit it back out into the field, update the field, and then I update the checkbox to say, if it's been encrypted or decrypted. Going back. Then what I do is I just simply refresh the control that is active on the page. So if this is, this email address is the control on the last control on the page. Basically, I need to refresh it because sometimes at the very end it just doesn't refresh. I don't know why. I just need this field that's currently selected to refresh at the end of the routine. And that is the bulk. The encryption and decryption algorithm, I actually made one subroutine. One says encrypt. One is an input of a decrypt. One is an input of encrypt. Here's the top of the subroutine. Got a little bit of error handling. Basically, I have two cases. One is decrypt, one is encrypt. Set values to true or false depending on which it is. Then I go through username, email, password, security, question and answer. I run through a subroutine, which is down here. And as you can see, this is the process that takes place. And basically that just encrypts or decrypts the field as required. I'm going to go back up top here, and at the very end, basically this is the message. If I can encrypt it, I don't get this message, but if I cannot encrypt it, I get a message that says, notice you can't update this. You can't encrypt or you can't decrypt. And so there's no data is encrypted, so that's get hashed out. But yeah, no, this works beautifully. So let's delete the 2 unnecessary queries here that were used to. All right, and so there you go. What I did notice is that when you try to encrypt or decrypt in bulk, a lot of these items, it takes a hot minute, maybe 5 or 10. So I recommend encrypting all of them, and then only decrypting one line at a time. That way it makes it easier for yourself in the future. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I need to go work out at the gym, so that's all I got time for right now.